This is the pre-flight procedure. Flight control panel, we'll check. Flight control switches, both are guard closed. Verify low pressure lights are illuminated. Spoiler switches, both are closed and guarded. Yaw damper on. Yaw damper light extinguishes. Alternate flat master switch is closed. These 3 lights are extinguished. These 4 lights are extinguished. Navigation panel set. Normal, normal, normal. Display select panel. For display panels, sets, auto, normal. Fuel panel. Engine spar valve closed and spar valve closed are illuminated and dim. That's these 4. Crossfeed valve is closed, straight up and down. The center tank fuel pumps should be extinguished. The main tank fuel pumps, we should have a low pressure light on. Come up to the electrics. Battery switch to be guard closed. Cabin util and IFE passenger seat switch to be on. Make sure these 3 lights is not illuminated. Make sure they're extinguished. Standby power switch should be guard closed. This light should be extinguished. The 2 engine The 2 generator drive disconnect switch should be guard closed. The drive light should be on. We're on ground power already. We'll verify transfer bus off and source off lights for both sides are off. Verify the gen off bus lights are illuminated. That's these 2. Overheat and fire protection panel. That was done on the electrical power up procedure. Only needs to be done once per flight day. Go up to the top. Turn the window heat on. 4 switches. You should see 4 green on lights, and the overheat light above that should be extinguished. Probe heat will leave an auto. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those lights should be illuminated. Wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice switch should be off. Hydraulic panel. We'll need to set that. The engine 1, engine 2 switches, the outside switches should be on. The electricals 2 and 1 should be off. Make sure you have 4 low pressure lights on and 2 on the top are extinguished. That's the overheat. These are just your door lights. Nothing going on here. We'll go overhead. Make sure trim air switch is on. These we can set to auto by moving the knobs straight up and down. Left and right recirc fans to auto. Packs to auto. Isolation valve switch to open. Engine bleeder switches on. APU bleeder switch, if the APU has been running for 2 minutes or more, on. This will supply air into the duct pressure. Pressurization panel will set. We'll get the final cruise altitude from the flight plan. We'll set our landing destination. Destination is 220 feet airport elevation. We'll set 250. We'll round it up to nearest 50. The pressurization mode selector should be auto. Go to the lighting panel on the left here. Lighting light off. Turn off light off. If there's retracts, we'll turn them off also. Taxi light off. Igniter should be right for the first flight of the day, and then we'll keep switching them as the flight goes per leg. These engine start switches should be off. Lighting panel on the right side. Logo off for daytime, on for nighttime. Collision strobe and steady should be to steady. Anti-collision light off, wing off, wheel well light off. Mass caution aircon, that was for dual bleed, that came on when we turned the AP bleed on. So we'll cancel that. Test the oxygen. Make sure it's closed and stowed. Verify the yellow crossing shows momentarily. Switch to 100%. And switch it to normal. Verify the clock is correct. Display select panel. Both of these are normal. The tail config and cabin altitude light, if installed, verify they're extinguished. That's over here. We'll hold this test switch to 1. Should get 3 yellow lights. Hold it to 2. Get 2 red, 1 yellow light. Flight instruments will check only if we have the CDU set up. If we don't, we continue down here. Ground proximity panel. Make sure these 3 switches are guard closed. Verify the JIP whistle light here is extinguished. Auto brakes. RTO. Light comes on and then it extinguishes for its self-test. Landing gear lever is down. Fuel. See if it's zeroed out. Fuel use is zeroed out. If it's not, just hold it to the top until it blanks, and then should be 0 again. Anti-skid and op light is extinguished. Engine display control panel selectors, make sure these are both auto. Engine instruments, we'll check them. Make sure they're indicating current conditions. Make sure they haven't exceeded anything. There's no yellow or red boxes around there. Cargo panel test. We get 2 green lights here. We get 2 red lights. We get the discharge light. We get the fire warning bell. We get the fire warning alert up here. We'll push this button. Confirm the bell cuts out, but these lights remain on. Tune the radio panel as needed. Make sure not to touch the HF, especially when the airplane's being fueled. Set the navigation panel as needed. Set the ADF panel as needed. Adjust your volume as needed. Transponder, we'll make sure it's on 2 if the right side is flying, 1 if the left side is flying. And just leave it on standby for now. Stabilizer trim. Override switch. Make sure both of these are guard closed. Adjust your seat. Adjust your rudder pedals. Adjust your shoulder harness. Do the pre-flight checklist on the captain's command.